Welcome to Hot Drama TV.
When two worlds collide. The quiet story behind Liu Shishi and Liu Yuning. At first glance, they never seemed meant to stand side by side. One came from years of discipline, silence, and classical elegance. The other arrived late, carrying a voice the world already knew, but a face many still doubted. When Liu Shishi and Liu Yuning were cast together, the internet did not ask, "What story will they tell?" It asked something colder. Does he belong there? But sometimes the most interesting stories are not the loud ones. They are the quiet collisions we almost overlook. And this is one of them. Two paths that should never have met. Liu Shishi represents stability. For years, she has been known as an actress who does not rush emotion. She does not shout her pain. She does not beg for attention. Her strength lies in restraint. Audiences trust her, not because she dazzles but because she endures. Liu Yuning, on the other hand, comes from a completely different world. No prestigious acting academy. No early debut backed by powerful agencies. Before cameras ever followed him, he stood under streetlights, singing to strangers who might stop, or might walk away. His fame did not begin with applause. It began with survival. When these two names appeared together on the same cast list, the contrast was impossible to ignore. And controversy followed instantly. The question no one said kindly. The criticism was not subtle. People spoke of mismatch, of status gap, of chemistry that doesn't exist. But underneath those words was a harsher question. Is effort allowed to stand beside experience? Liu Shishi carried years of refined technique. Liu Yuning carried years of emotional exposure. Learned not in classrooms but in life. He did not act with polish. He acted with vulnerability. And vulnerability, in a world obsessed with perfection, is often mistaken for weakness. A different kind of chemistry. Many viewers searched for sparks. They wanted tension, dramatic longing, explosive romance. But what they were given instead was something quieter. Two characters who did not rush toward each other. Two people weighed down by responsibility, history, and unspoken emotion. Liu Shishi's stillness created space. Liu Yuning's sincerity filled it. Their chemistry was not loud. It was human. And that made some uncomfortable. Because real life rarely looks like fantasy. Why this pairing divided the audience? This was never a pairing designed to please everyone. It challenged modern viewing habits. Habits shaped by fast romance and exaggerated emotion. Liu Shishi does not perform love loudly. Liu Yuning does not perform masculinity aggressively. Together they offered a version of connection built on silence, patience, and emotional weight. For some that felt empty. For others it felt painfully real. And perhaps that is why debate never stopped. The quiet growth no one could deny. What many critics overlooked was this. Liu Yuning never tried to outshine Liu Shishi. He listened. He adjusted. He learned. Scene by scene, his performance did not demand attention. It earned it. Standing beside a veteran actress is not about dominance. It is about balance. And in that balance, Liu Yuning revealed something rare in C-dramas today. A male lead unafraid to be gentle, unafraid to be uncertain, unafraid to grow in public. Why this story still matters. Some pairings fade the moment the drama ends. This one did not. Because it exposed something deeper than romance. It forced audiences to confront their own expectations. Who is allowed to succeed? Who deserves the spotlight? And how much imperfection are we willing to accept? Liu Shishi and Liu Yuning did not give viewers a fairy tale. They gave them a mirror. When silence speaks louder than praise. What made this pairing linger was not applause. It was silence. After the drama aired, there were no viral couple moments dominating headlines. No exaggerated fan service. No forced narratives about perfect chemistry. And yet, discussions did not disappear. They became quieter. Deeper. People began rewatching scenes, not to feel excitement but to understand them. Pause before a line. A look held just a second too long. A hesitation that felt unpolished, but painfully human. In those moments, Liu Shishi's restraint became a frame. And Liu Yuning's rawness became the painting inside it. Not flawless, but alive. The risk of being unconventional. In today's industry, safety sells. Safe visuals. Safe pairings. Safe emotional beats. Liu Shishi and Liu Yuning were not safe. Casting them together was a risk because it refused to guarantee instant gratification. This pairing asked the audience to slow down, to sit with discomfort, to accept that not all love stories are loud, symmetrical, or easy to define. And when viewers reject something as boring, what they often mean is, it did not follow the rules I expected. But art that only follows rules rarely lasts. Why Liu Yuning's presence mattered. Standing beside a veteran like Liu Shishi does not expose weakness. It exposes truth. Every hesitation, every uneven emotional beat from Liu Yuning was visible, yes. But so was his sincerity. He did not hide behind technique. He did not rely on charm. He relied on effort. And effort, when honest, has a way of reaching people quietly. Many viewers did not fall for his character immediately. They grew into him. And that slow acceptance mirrors his real-life journey more closely than any perfectly written role ever could. Liu Shishi's quiet power. Liu Shishi did not dominate the screen. She did something far more difficult. She held it. Her performance did not demand emotional response. It allowed space for it. In scenes shared with Liu Yuning, she never overshadowed him, nor did she lower herself to match him. She trusted the story. And that trust gave the pairing its quiet gravity. Not passion that explodes, but connection that settles. What this pairing taught the audience. This story was not about romance alone. It was about how we judge people. About how quickly we decide who deserves to stand where. About how uncomfortable we become when success does not follow a clean, familiar path. Liu Shishi and Liu Yuning reminded viewers of something easy to forget. Not all growth is elegant. Not all connection is obvious. Not all meaningful stories announce themselves loudly. Some ask you to listen. In the end, Liu Shishi and Liu Yuning were never meant to convince everyone. They were meant to exist. As a pairing that questioned expectations. As a story that unfolded slowly. As a reminder that sincerity often walks a lonelier road. Long after debates fade, what remains is this. A woman who mastered silence. A man who learned in public. And a story that refused to be simple. Some viewers will forget the plot. But they will remember the feeling. The quiet weight. The unfinished emotion. The sense that something real had passed through the screen. And perhaps that is the highest compliment any story can receive. Not that it was perfect, but that it stayed. After the screen goes dark. When the final episode ended, something unexpected happened. The noise did not grow louder. It softened. There were no explosive trends that lasted weeks. No endless edits flooding every platform. Instead, comments began to change tone. I didn't like it at first, but I keep thinking about it. Their scenes feel different when I rewatch. It's not exciting, but it feels heavy. These were not reactions born from hype. They were reflections. And reflection is something only certain stories leave behind. Time is unforgiving to shallow performances, but it is kind to sincerity. As days passed, more viewers began to see what they had missed. The way Liu Shishi's calm created emotional gravity. The way Liu Yuning's unguarded expressions carried quiet pain. The way neither tried to sell romance, yet allowed it to exist. What once felt like a lack of chemistry slowly revealed itself as emotional realism. Not the kind that demands tears, but the kind that stays with you on ordinary nights. Many popular pairings burn bright and vanish quickly. They are designed to impress. Liu Shishi and Liu Yuning were designed to endure. Their story does not rely on shock or spectacle. It relies on accumulation. Small moments layered over time. That is why it grows stronger after the ending. Because real emotions are often understood in hindsight.